Hi everybody, welcome to Restoration Designs Videos. My name is Josh Smith, I'm the production manager here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the ongoing Speedster project we have here at the shop. One of our biggest motivations we have for this project is being able to share our love and knowledge over these cars. And what better way to do that than to build a full-scale replica identical to the one Porsche produced years ago. Let's go inside and see what the guys are up to. We know you can get a kit car for around 10 to 30,000 US, but we want to create a car that is almost indistinguishable from the original. Dare I say better than. We really want people to feel like they are driving a genuine car right off the original assembly lines. Now this is no easy task, and only by using the team and networks we have working with us will it be achievable. From Mike sourcing cars and parts info for us to the guys on the shop floor. Pete, Kung, and myself who do all the tool design and troubleshooting, our fastidious laser operator Steve, who programs our 5-axis laser and is one of many checkpoints for quality. Chris, who really has one of the more labor-intensive jobs in the shop. He does all the tool loading and stamps the thousands of parts we make on a yearly basis. And then Paul, the welder fabricator, who I lean on a lot when I need high-quality work done. He's the one responsible for all the beautiful assembled parts you get delivered to your shop. So one of the first things we needed to find was a straight quality Speedster, which is really hard to find. Luckily, Mike found this 56 Speedster out of Baltimore, Maryland from another Porsche guy he knows. And it has all the components that we needed from the car. In particular, we needed this front beam assembly. We needed it to be strong and straight, and as well as the rear torsion area. Just so when we're putting it on the bench, that we know that the car is straight and true and matches up with the limited amount of Porsche drawings that we have. So Mike did have a couple other Speedster chassis, but they were so far rotten that they would have been useless to us. But what they do provide is a couple good measurements on certain parts and certain areas of the car that we can relate and match up to the current car we have. This car in particular has some early A dimensions, as well as we've noticed as some B dimensions, which kind of tells us that, you know, maybe Porsche had some parts on the floor that they just wanted to use and they stuck on the car, which we know they have been known to do. So one of the biggest areas of differences in these cars is this front section, this front clip section. There's a lot of different variations. These cars were pounded together, and it's very hard to take accurate measurements off them, which is why we use, 2, 3 cars to get a very accurate measurement so we can split the difference and find where mating the panels will work best for us.
I'm Trevor from ACL Designs. I work in partnership with Restoration Designs, and what we do collaboratively is we're putting cars together based off of laser scanning, and this is part of how I'm doing it. I've got the retroreflective targets. I'm optimizing a laser scanner, and connection with that and some factory drawings, we're able to put proper CAD models together. So it starts off with a nice scan, high accuracy of the actual car. And then from that, with the factory drawings, we'll put together an accurate CAD model that is based off factory dimensions and based off of what the actual car is. We also want to kind of capture the as-built of the car, which sometimes differs from drawings, but it's a nice combination between the two. So this is a 356A. The serial numbers represent that. And what we try to do as well is referencing the serial numbers is by scanning the car and making sure the dimensions from a 356A match the car itself, the drawings in the car match up. And so based off of that, we can also kind of confirm that other parts weren't swapped in from a B or a C. And we confirm this is an A car, and what we produce is the exact thing. So when you take this back to your shop, put the panels on, everything matches up to your fixture and factory drawings. So what I'm doing right now, the scanner is optimizing with the retroreflective targets to pick up as a reference. It's dropping points down 10,000 a second to get the data. With this technology, I'll start off with plus or minus 1.5 thou, which is a good start. By the time this is done, we'll put it back to factory specs, and we'll have the built-in tolerances already ready, so that when they make these parts, it's just as if they were making it back on the plant.
Hi, my name is Quang Lee, and I'm a CAD/CAM designer and programmer at Restoration Design, and I can show you how we develop the tool design and manufacturing at Restaurant Design. What I have here is the scan data of the original part, and that I will receive the original scan part data, as you can see on the screen right here. And from there, I will have to develop the tool that will produce that part. And at Restaurant Design, we will design, machine, and manufacture from beginning to the end. And right now I got a part here, and I will show you. This is the product after I designed it. And you can see in the screen there, the green color is the part. And whatever the other color is, that's the mold. So when we make the part from the mold, so you got the shape of the original part in there. And after that, we stamp, we're going to go to the laser machine to cut the part. The next software I'm using right now is the same part as you can see earlier. This is the CAM software. So it's going to help us to program CNC machine to machine the tool. And now you can see this is the same tool that we earlier see on the computer, and which is I'm making right now. So I'm in this process of like a semi-finished machine for the mold before I run the final finish to have a better finished surface. We have the capability of designing and produce at the same time, so that help us to continuously improve the part that we make. So if we have any feedback from the customer, we can like engineering change on the mold right away to improve our part. And I constantly work with the production manager and to see any feedback from him, and I can go back to the design and then make some modify that improve and make the part better.
Hi, I'm Steve Vandenberg, and I'm the 3D laser operator at Restoration Design. After I get the CAD data from the tool guys, I'll make a jig profile, as so, and I'll nest it as well. And after that, it'll go to Norm at the 2D laser. He will cut it out and then assemble it like a puzzle, and it'll be welded together by Paul, and it will turn out like that on the bed. So when I receive it from them, I locate it on the bed, and then I program. I'll run a ghost program, and just to make sure there's no crashes in real life. So I'll run a simulation right now, and this is really just showing what it would do in real life when it's on the bed running. And then the CAD data doesn't always fit the actual part, so we use OEM parts to make adjustments to make the part as good as we can, and then I take it over to Norm and they try it on the chassis.
Hi, I'm Paul from Restoration Design, and I'm a welder fabricator here, and today I'm going to go over with you a jack stamp for a 356. Basically, not all parts in this shop are stamped, pressed, and sent down the row. A lot of them come to me for the other side of life, which is sheet metal banging, custom, and handmade parts. A lot of customers depend on us to provide them with as close as we can possibly provide to OEM parts, and that's what my job is to get all these parts to OEM specs, and basically hand bang them and weld them, fabricate them, send them down the line, spot weld them. When it comes to making all these parts, I have a bunch of welders and spot welders available. I have here, which is your basic rocker arm spot welder that was used upon the Porsche production line. And I have a couple more that weld nuts, which are on the far side over here, for more of studs and bolts where it's require some sort of torque that's going to be going into these, and it's going to be stable.
So what we have here is what we like to call the Ersatz chassis, which is German for spare chassis. And what this is helping us do is kind of conceptualize and mock up our panels as we produce them from the production line. So we mounted it on a Celette bench with fixtures which we've got from J3. And this allows us to get proper measurements and really see how the car is assembled and how it's supposed to be put together. So from here I can figure out what sub-assemblies I can make out off the bench, and then I can bring them in and put them on the bench and weld them where the factory welds are done. At this point we're kind of at a standstill because we're waiting for the engineering process to come in and stamp some more dies. So right now we're kind of at this front section area where we've noticed that we want to retool some of our parts to instead of doing them in 2 panels, we want them to be in 1 panel, just like they came from Porsche, and as well as finishing this front pillar here for the door hinge. So this is next on the list to get made. When that's made, it'll be put together just like this original NOS panel here. We're going to make this as a sub-assembly, and that'll be available for purchase at some point, and that will allow me to put it on the car and weld it on the car with a spot welder. So once a part has been cut by Steve on the laser, he comes and gives it to me and Rob, and me and him kind of mock up and use the limited amount of Porsche drawings that exist, as well as using the other cars that we have at our disposal, which is around 5 or 6 cars at any given time, to really match up the dimensions and where they go in relation to other parts in the car. So one of the tools we like to use here at the shop are these things called clicos, which are kind of like a rivet and hold the part like firmly in place. As you can see, like this is not welded together, and you know, it barely moves. And this allows us to quickly take the panel in and out for quick adjustments that either Steve or myself have to make on the fly. We also use, you know, C-clamps, and some parts need to be tweaked, and when we realize they need to be tweaked, they'll come off, and either Pete or Kung will make adjustments to the tool, or Steve will make adjustments on the laser until they're 100% perfect. Then they'll go in the car and get welded in the car. And then that's what you have over here with this, you know, fully finished rear chassis assembly, which Rob from Pithead Metalcraft has made fully by hand, all by hand. We don't currently sell this, but eventually it'll be on the list to make. He's made this one by hand, this has been made by hand, and you know, it's all welded together solid. The measurements line up. It's a beautiful piece, and I can't wait to finish the rest. So this here is what it's all about, is this beautiful 54 Speedster that was professionally restored by Manny at Cambridge Collisions, who did a beautiful job. This car was pretty much rotted into the ground when it started, which is why it wasn't one of the ones that we're using for our conceptualization. It has pretty much all the panels that we sell on it. Let me pop the hood here. So inside it's beautifully done, full original battery box. Well, not original, but replica, but to the correct year. You know, you got the inner fenders here, beautiful gas tank. Just a beautiful job. This motor was built by one of our friends in Michigan named John Wilberg. He does beautiful work, and as you can see too, all the sidewalls are beautiful. The engine tray is beautiful, matches beautifully with the engine seals. So, you know, the front bumpers, the front and rear bumpers are ours. The fenders are ours. The hood, which is one of our biggest projects we had at the shop, it's ours, it matches beautifully. The floor pans, the tunnel, I could go on all day. But this is what we want to produce, and this is the end goal, and it's just a beautiful car. As I stated earlier, this is only one of many projects we have here at the shop. We're still committed to making 911 and 914 parts. You can still expect the same quality out of those parts as we have in the past. At Restoration Design, as always, we love to hear your feedback, which is why we've opened our own technical support forum on our website. You can talk to anyone from engineering to sales to production to shipping. Even Mike, the owner, he's on there answering your questions. So give us a shout out, show us your pictures. My name's Josh Smith. Thank you for watching.